Hello everybody, welcome to the United Stands. I'm Mark Goldbridge. Watch along time. It's Manchester United against Atletico Madrid. Pre-season game from Stockholm. How are you all doing? I'm actually quite looking forward to this because I didn't do the last one because I was on holiday in España. And I feel like this is the first proper pre-season game where we play some decent opposition. Although they are weakened, to be fair. But still a decent opposition, and we do start to... I think Carrick will start to now leave certain players out, like Collier and Gore and Obi, and we'll start to give more minutes to the stronger players. So yeah, looking forward to it. Hope you're doing very, very well. Let's get the team on the screen for you so you can have a look at the starting United lineup because it is relatively strong. Here it is. So as you can see, United lining up with no Xerxes actually. I didn't realise that Xerxes not starting. So look, I think straight away let's read the team and then I'll give you what my feedback. So Heaton in goal. I'd rather Vitek, but you know we're going to sell Vitek. Heaton in goal, Yoro at right back. I mean, is that a fill-in or not? He's getting minutes. I think that's a positive. Luke Shaw at left back, obviously, we're fed up with that. Heaven and Maguire at centre-back, absolutely fine. Santos in the midfield, absolutely fine. Mason Mount in the midfield, not really happy about it, but what else are we going to do? Lacey, Ahmad and Dorgu, quite like that. Mbermo up front. Yeah, I mean, look, you look at that team and you go, well, look, you still got Cunha, Bruno, Sesko, Mainu, Tielemans to come back. There's a lot of options. Rashford as well. Let's not forget. So there's a lot to come back that will improve the squad. I still don't think it's good enough, but there's a lot to come back. I don't like Mbermo up front. I think that's something we've discussed quite a lot. But I don't like Mason Mount in the midfield. So I think that when all said and done, it's not the end of the world, is it? I'm just trying to have a look at the bench for Manchester United, which I should be able to bring in. But let me know your thoughts on the team. I mean, look, there's a few people playing out of position, and Burmo's playing out of position in my mind. Who else? I would say that, yeah, Yoro's out of position, I suppose, and Mason Mount's out of position as well. I would like to see from this game some good football. I don't necessarily think that we need to counter-attack against Atletico Madrid. The bench has got Binder, Vitek, Amas, Arna, Camerson, Fletcher, Thwaites, JJ, Williams and Xerxes. So Xerxes is on the bench. That's what I was sort of looking at there. So, yeah. But look, an enjoyable way to spend an early Saturday afternoon with you good people. Please do share the video. Thank you everybody for that. Ahmad looks like he's at number 10, Freddie. Yes, he does. Match starts in about 14 minutes. Dan Gore and Collier not part of this because they played last night and are expected to move on. Dan Gore is actually expected to be in the Middlesbrough squad. There's talk of him signing for them. And also we've got Collier who's looking to go as well. So probably a little bit of money coming in for those players. I mean, there's still a belief that he could be... Collier could play in the Premier League for somebody. So we'll have to wait and see. Just looking at the Atletico Madrid side. Oblak, let's get this on the screen for you. So they are probably worse than us, Atletico Madrid, in the sense of players they've got available for themselves. But there will still be some players that you recognise. We covered them off in the preview, really, but they've got a lot of players who are Argentinian and Spanish, who obviously won't be involved because they played in the World Cup. But Oblak in goal, you'll know about him. Ruggieri, Hanko, Lenormand, Dominguez, Hanko. I remember Hanko being linked to us all those years ago. Koke in the midfield. No Jungland. I thought he might have started, but he's not starting. And then obviously Lookman. They've got a few younger players playing as well. I don't know what the Atletico Madrid bench looks like. I don't know whether they've put that out, actually. Let's have a quick look. No. That would have been interesting to see what their bench is, because there's absolutely no point if anyone knows what the bench is for Atletico Madrid, you'll be very, very appreciated if you could post it to us and let us know. I think they haven't posted it. Yeah, they haven't posted it. So if anyone knows their bench, that would be very, very good. But look, I'd expect us to win. I would expect us to win. Bench is on BBC Football today. Shamoni, thank you very much. I will check that out now. Man United, Atletico Madrid, lineups. You're an absolute star, sir. Thank you very much. So Yulmland's on the bench for them. Jimenez, you'd know about him. Lamar, you'd know about him. Kubo, yeah, they've got quite a strong bench. They're probably going to play fifth. You know, it'd be interesting to see how many minutes Carrick gives our players, or whether he changes it all at half time. Yeah, interesting to know. What's your issue with Mason Mount? Well, last time I checked, we're allowed to have opinions. What I said about Rashford this morning, some people have taken issue with. That's absolutely fine. I basically said United have ended up in a ridiculous situation because they wanted to sell him, and now he's back on 325 grand a week, and we're meant to cheerlead them and say that they did good business. I mean, personally, I think they should have let him go to Barcelona for whatever they were willing to pay, but we played hardball and we lost out. In relation to Mason Mount, look, this is from a Google search, right? Mason Mount at Man United, 23 to 26. 23-24 season, games missed 31, appearances 20. So missed 31 games and appeared in 20 in his first season. What's that? Is it even? Was he available for even 40% of our games? Season 2, missed 30 games and appeared in 16, which is even worse. And last season, I don't have the data because it's not put it there, but I would imagine last season he missed a lot of games. So for me, Mason Mount, if you like Mason Mount, absolutely fantastic, well done. If you think he's a solution in the midfield, well done, absolutely fantastic. But don't criticise for me saying I think he's a waste of space. Because of his injuries. I don't care what he looks like in the new kit. I don't care whether he's got a number 7 on his back. I don't care whether he loves the club. I don't care whether he's really popular. I don't care if he actually can do a job there. I'm not even having that conversation. I'm saying in 3 years, he's never available. I have got no time to invest in Mason Mount in our midfield. I just wouldn't waste my time on it. I'm totally indifferent to it. And people can have a problem with that. Of course they can. It's a free world. But you also can't argue with me that his injury record over 3 years is incredibly bad. So I don't care whether he's scoring hat-tricks up front or kept 20 clean sheets in goal. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether he's shit or whether he's world-class. He's never going to be available. So I just don't waste my breath on it. The sooner Tielemans and Mainu are back and we stop seeing Mason Mount in the midfield, the better. All I hope is that we're not going to use it as a reason not to buy a midfielder. That's my only concern on this. I don't think Michael Carrick's stupid. I don't think he's stupid. So I just think Mason Mount is a waste of time as a footballer for Manchester United. Now, if he can do what Luke Shaw did and suddenly stay fit, great. But, you know, would any of you be willing to pop up £1,000 for charity and hold to it that you'll pay £1,000 to charity if he's fit by the end of September? Would you do that? Would you put up £1,000 for charity, and if he gets injured before the end of September, you've got to pay the £1,000? Or would you think you're going to keep that £1,000? I don't even know if I'd do it till the end of August. I think he will be fit till the end of August, but you know, inevitably he's going to get injured, and I don't think he's been fit for Man United for longer than 2 months in his entirety time of being here. So yeah. Anyway, thanks everybody who's tuning in. We are currently about 8 minutes away from kickoff. The game is on MUTV. What I suggest you do is, well, there's not a lot you can do. It's probably going to be in 1080. Well, it won't be in 1080p. Probably in 480p. But a few people talking about the stadium being quite empty. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I think that the World Cup has obviously had a massive impact on Manchester United. What do you think about the update from Sully Talks? I don't think he has a bloody clue about transfers, to be honest. I think he's very good on injuries because he's got a mate who works at Carrington. I don't think he's very good on transfers. I'm allowed to say that. And I think he wants to be a transfer guru. I don't think he has anything on transfers, to be honest. And I'm not being horrible. I think he's very good for injuries because of his mate at Carrington, but I don't think anyone's given him any transfer information, to be honest. Do you think the Lewis Hall story is true? No. No, I don't. I don't think we're signing Lewis Hall, and I feel sorry for every Man United fan that thinks we are. I think you're wasting your time. You're going to end up frustrated. Yeah. Not going to happen, in my opinion. I'd love it to happen, but I mean, what's the update anyway? Man United have planned talks with Newcastle to explore the possibility of signing Lewis Hall. Contact with the camp has already taken place. I mean, what type of update is that anyway? I mean, that's just, you may as well call yourself Indy Kayla. Man United have planned to have talks with Newcastle. And when we don't have those talks, what does that mean? Well, we plan to have the talks. I mean, all I'm interested in is David Ornstein or Fabrizio Romano saying Man United are in advanced talks with Newcastle to sign Lewis Hall. I can't be asked with ITKs who've been proven wrong numerous times this summer. But if you want to get hyped and desperate about stuff like that, please do. Anyway, let's get into some serious conversation here. Hi, Mark. Hope you're well. Having a good day, says Daniel Thompson. And Mr. Thank you very much for gifting your memberships. Mr. says, I've been watching for years, never change. Oh, is it because you've got no information on Lewis Hall? But, mate, I don't want to be an ITK. I have no information on Lewis Hall. I do on Chumini, I did on Tillemans, and I do on Kone. I've got nothing on Lewis Hall. Nothing. I'm just observing it like you. But I also think people who are pretending they've got something haven't either. Mr. Welcome to Members Club. United put me on timeout for saying United won't ever be a top club under these owners. They also won't let you super chat. Glazers out, says She Loves Cowgirl. I always enjoy pre-season She Loves Cowgirl because we really do get, I think many of us know about this, but we are reintroduced to people who think MUTV is going to be balanced. And it always makes me laugh, and I'm sure it makes some of you laugh, because it happens every single summer. It is a propaganda channel, and that's fine. It is, you know, you watch Man United playing in pre-season, and a player can play total shite, and MUTV will say that was a world-class performance. Like, they have no shame. They are literally 100%, and it's absolutely fine because it's a club channel. They're absolutely, they're all over that. They're all over that. Good afternoon, Mark. I always find it funny how other teams sell their reserves for much more than we do. E.g. Harry Amas and Vitek. Are we Oxfam, says Tom Grant. Thanks for your super chats. We will read those out. Please do share the video, by the way, because I've not even done it myself. So let me just tweet that out. I'm live. Is there an 8 o'clock show? Yes, there is, yeah. There wasn't a live morning show this morning because I was humming and ahhing about whether to do a show, and then I had to take Seb to football. So, but there will be an 8 o'clock show tonight, yeah. Why don't you rate Sully? Oh God, I'm so bored of this. Because I don't think he's any good on transfers. I don't think he was very good last summer. I don't think he's very good this summer, and I don't think anybody I know's ever spoken to him at all. I don't think he has got sources on transfers. I think he's got sources on injuries and who turns up to training because he's got somebody who he knows who works there. I'm not dismissing or disrespecting, because if it's injury related or someone turning up at Carrington, I would believe it. I would. And that's a good thing, isn't it? I'm not saying he's bullshitting about that, but transfers, no, not for me. Glazers will start taking the dividends that Ineos claimed to stop from this November. I mean, was he not the person who said that Mateus Fernandes only wants Man United? I'm pretty sure he was. Well, how did that go? Hi, Mark. Who is your dream signing? Who would take Man United to the next level? Well, players are out on the pitch. There is no dream signing, mate, that takes Man United to the next level. I don't think there's a dream signing that takes us to the next level. But if I could make one signing to give the club a big boost, I think it would have to be a big personality player, because I don't think one player changes United's path. So if you're going to sign one player, you need them to bring aura as well. So I would say someone like Vinicius Jr., Jude Bellingham, that type of a player that's very good, but a player that has an aura as well. So I think Vinicius Jr., Jude Bellingham, someone like that. Also, as Timothy says, John Joe Shelby would be a good shout. Thank you very much. Glazers will start taking the dividends that Ineos claimed to stop from this November. What a bunch of hypocrites. How can people still back them, says Max Loves Cookies. It'd be very interesting to see if the dividends start again, actually. It will. That's the wrong one. Where? Wow, this happened before. Where is the timer? Oh, there it is. That's fine. Panicking then. Score predictions for half-time and full-time, says Yuri. If you want to do score predictions for half-time and full-time for a pre-season game against Atletico Madrid, you fill your boots. I couldn't give a shit. What I'm interested in is stylistically how we play. I think in pre-season, as a manager, and it's good to look at it from a manager's point of view. In pre-season as a manager, what you're looking for is players that you can use for the season, trying different things out with those players. Also, mainly, it's about formation and tactics. What you're trying to do is prepare them for the start of the season. So how we play on the ball and how we move off the ball and how we defend without the ball, these are things that I'm going to be looking at. I saw some truly outrageous takes on a manager tier list for United in the post-Sir Alex Ferguson era by some content creators. How would you rate them in a tier of S, A, B, C, D in that order? What is A, B, C, D? Music for everyone. So look, let me do my own tier list. So great, good, average, poor. Yeah. So Moyes poor. Van Gaal. Hold on a minute. About to start the game here. Do not like this camera angle. Fucking hell. This is the sort... You do not want a camera angle like this and sun like this when you're watching the game in 48p. This is going to be tough. Virtually impossible to see who is who again. Yeah, I'd put Moyes in the poor category. I'd put LVG in average, because he did win an FA Cup. I'd put Jose in good. I'd put Ten Hag... Sorry, Ollie. Ollie in average. I'd put Ten Hag in average. And I'd put Amorim in poor. The reason I'd put Ten Hag in average is because he won 2 trophies and got us into the top 4. The reason I'd put Ollie in average is because he started off quite well, got us into 2nd place and a Europa League final. I'd put LVG in average, although you could move him down to poor because he did win us an FA Cup. And Jose's in good because he got us into 2nd place and also won the Europa League and the Carabao Cup. So that's how I would do it. Moyes and Amorim obviously didn't do very well. Right, the game has started here. Let's see how we go. Mbermo is playing up front. Ahmad's playing on the right and Lacey's playing as a 10. Dorgu is at left wing. Here's Lacey. Early chance to get a shot off. Good play, good block there by Atletico. Atletico Madrid actually do start their season before us. They play midweek before us, but I would expect us to be a little bit sharper because this is only their 2nd pre-season game. Jeffrey says grumpy Bridge. I'm not grumpy at all. Been chatting to 15 minutes, giving good answers. I'm not grumpy at all. Crazy how Atletico bought Yulmland for 34 million. I didn't even realise they bought him, Carlo. Only when I was doing the preview and looking at Atletico and I saw that he played for them, I didn't even realise he'd gone there. But 34 million is, yeah, good. Yeah, Yoro at right back. I don't see it being a future because he's fucking massive. Look at Yoro there. He's 6'3". He's never going to... You don't get... Can anybody tell me a fullback that's 6'3"? It's just not going to happen. But the good thing about him playing at right back is it's minutes. And if Delo hadn't gone to the World Cup, he wouldn't be getting any minutes. So I just think it's a good thing to see that. Ineos are about as useful as a fishnet condom. Mister. Thank you very much for music for everyone out there. Am I correct in saying this goes to penalties if equal after 90 minutes? Also, have you seen what Romano said on Ethan Wheatley? No. Is it about Everton? Evan. Cryptic says, I can't believe Silva's gone to Bournemouth. We wanted him. Andre Silva, centre-back. Yeah, I mean, Bournemouth do buy. You know, Bournemouth, Brighton, Brentford, they do buy good players. Atletico Madrid's passing's quite bad. Is that Dominguez at back for number 27? He's absolutely there's two right backs on the pitch who are absolutely massive. Maguire there with a foul. The number 27 for Atletico, I think he's about 6'4". He's 16. He's 16 or 17. So Atletico Madrid have got a few younger players as well. They've got an early free kick here. Give us your thoughts anyway this Saturday afternoon. Good to all have you all with us. We've got nearly 10,000 watching already, so please do share the video. Man United in Stockholm playing Atletico Madrid. Early chance to whip a cross in, not a very good one, and goes out for a corner. BB says, how Maguire still has a Man United contract amazes me. Did you see Harry on the trampoline? I was like, fucking hell. Imagine if he... Well, that video wouldn't have gone out if he got injured, would it? I mean, it's impressive. 6'5" doing one of those. It's a lovely cross. It's a goal. Atletico Madrid lead 1-0. Why United aren't attacking the cross, I do not know. And it's 1-0 to Atletico Madrid. It's only pre-season. Let's calm down. But defensively, that's shit. Really. It's hard to overreact because it is only pre-season. But it is 1-0 to Atletico Madrid here. Inside the first 5 minutes, MUTV are claiming it as a goal for Man United. They're blaming the wind. But really, it's a crappy goal to concede. I mean, look at that. Maguire should head it as well. I mean, it's rubbish. It's absolutely... I mean, you can let these sort of goals in pre-season, but it's absolutely terrible. Yoro and Maguire, both over 6'3", both there. Neither of them attacking the ball. Everybody ball watching. Santos, Dorgu as well. Look, you can allow it in pre-season, but you've got to go and attack that ball there. Might spark Man United into life. There we go. I just can't wait for the Premier League, says Song. 3 weeks today, we will actually still be playing against Hull. It's a 12:30 kickoff on a Saturday. So 3 weeks today. But United losing 1-0 here. What have you and Gary Neville been cooking, says Rob. Keep an eye out next week. I'm fingers crossed. I've been busy Thursday, Friday. Fingers crossed next week we can announce a big bit of business. We will see. I'm very confident. Probably the biggest bit of news we've ever announced on United Stand, actually. Oh my God, another shot there, just wide. United looking a little bit sloppy here for a team that's in its third pre-season game. Atletico looking technically pretty decent here in the first 7 minutes. Josh says, what's your thoughts on the passing of legend Franco Baresi? Rest in peace, Capitano. Spoke about it on the 8 o'clock show last night. Look, one of the best defenders ever to play the beautiful game. Fact. Baresi, Maldini, Costa Curta. These were defenders that were just universally revered. And still are. They are the gold standard of defending, and I think sometimes somebody dies and it's sad that they die, so you probably maybe overrate them a little bit, but no, I think in Baresi, an absolute brilliant one. Mark, thank you very much for that. Appreciate that from Rob. My co-worker's friend plays with Lewis Hall's brother and told him last week that the deal's done. Be interesting if it does happen. Well, that's not true, Joseph. Doesn't mean it won't happen, but your co-worker doesn't know that a deal's been done. And if United had done a deal, it would have been out by now. Transfers done quietly. Adeyemi to Barcelona for 19 million. Well, I think this is a great signing, Carlo. I think Adeyemi's a very good player. Free kick there for a foul on Dorgu. Yeah, a few younger players playing for Atletico today as well. Here's Ahmad, bit of space. Got to have a big season, Ahmad. Needs to go wide again there in Burmo. Ahmad. Mount. Leave it. What, great save. Luke Shaw, volley. Whew. Should have scored. Should have scored. Very good cross by Mason Mount. Luke Shaw unmarked on the back post. Hit it well. Just hit it straight at the goalkeeper, to be fair. I mean, he's a left back. You wouldn't expect him to... He didn't get it full on the laces, but straight at the keeper. Why have United got the Europa League on their badge on their arm? Yeah, lots of empty seats. Look, I think a lot of the empty seats are because there'll be expensive tickets. It's the Snapdragon Cup. Okay. Yeah. You get a lot of these made-up competitions in pre-season. Snapdragon Cup. Look, I think there's a lot of empty seats because the tickets are expensive, and also everybody knows there's not a lot of... there's a lot of United players missing, I suppose. What happens if we have a bad start to the league, even though the games are easy? How do they sugarcoat it, says Man UFC. Well, we'll have to see what happens, won't we? Finally got the fire stick working, and we're losing, says Andron. A portion of Man United fans are trying to convince themselves Glinios will sign Tchouameni and Lewis Hall, says Desiree. Yeah, they're called Glazer Rimmers, and they're facilitated by certain people on social media who... I don't know whether they're on the payroll or not, but they're a joke, really. What happens if we have done that one from Man UFC? Live watch along from Old Trafford, says Rory. Thank you very much for that. Okay, I'm watching on MUTV. United losing 1-0 here, but Atletico Madrid have got that goal. I mean, look, there's a lot of players missing for Atletico Madrid. Obviously, Alvarez is still an Atletico Madrid player. Hello, Mark. Can you say hello, please? How was your vacation? Says EJ. Also, I think Camavinga is better than Tchouaméni. Well, hello. I don't think Camavinga is better than Tchouaméni. No. Cunha's back next week, apparently. Nice ball in behind here for Dorgu, but he won't get there. Yeah, Cunha's back next week. I'm trying to figure out how many weeks ago the World Cup was, but it's 2, isn't it? 2 weeks ago tomorrow. So England players have still got another week. Yeah, England players still got another week. And Bruno and Delo might be back this week as well, because they went out in the quarterfinal, didn't they? So Martinez, Mainu, Rashford, another week off. Bruno, I think, will be back this week. Vinny, Vinny, Vinny. Vinny says, thanks for the epic World Cup coverage, made my summer. If Vinny Junior goes to Arsenal, will you do the Vinny chant every time he scores? It's a good idea. I mean, Vinicius Junior should be coming to Manchester United, Vinny. Hey, Vinny! It's Vinny! What are you on about? Hey, Vinny! Mark, in these pre-season games, are you monitoring referees to keep World Cup standards? I'm not that sad, Pete. Andron says, every week, every summer, we're sat on a Sunday night show saying another week wasted. We should just expect this every May. I mean, look, you never know. Tielemans started on a weekend, so maybe after this game something might happen. But you know what? I'd love to sign Lewis Hall, because we would definitely drop Luke Shaw. Santos in the pivot, looking for those forward passes. That is a good forward pass. And a free kick on the edge of the box for a foul on Mbeumo. Who will take the free kick? Probably Mason Mount. It's a good pass by Santos, to be fair. Line breaker. And it was good link-up play between Mbeumo and Mount. Probably wasn't a free kick, in fairness, but we'll take it. The reason I don't think it was a free kick is because Mbeumo went to shoot, hit mid-air, and then ran into the player. But it's a very good position. If you can get this on target, it probably goes in. If we had last year's midfielders and this summer's signings, who would your midfield 2 be? Says United. I don't know. Casemiro, Tielemans, Casemiro, Mainu. I think you'd still keep Casemiro, wouldn't you? Worst window since 2009, but we had Sir Alex then, says Mitesh. Jack, I'm just going to... Oh, James has got rid of her. Got rid of him. Thank you, James. MUTV commentary, awful. Mount as DM is terrifying, says Steve Woodley. And the free kick we just missed was from Ahmad. And it sort of trickled through with a bit of a deflection and nearly caught out Oblak, but he saved it quite comfortably in the end. Not the best free kick. If United go get Tchouaméni and Hall, I think the window will go from 4 to 8. I have to believe all this doing nothing is for a reason, says Dan. Dan, I respect you, sir. I also feel massively sorry for you. I'd rather be me laughing about United signing Tchouaméni and Hall, and if we did, be pleasantly surprised, than you, who is actually thinking it's going to happen. I just laugh at these stories. We've had an absolutely pathetic window, and people think we're about to go and buy 2 stunning signings. I just can't see it. Good play by Lacey. Gets it into Ahmad. And he's offside. Yeah, big season for Ahmad. Seen a lot of people saying it, but I do agree. I'm a big fan of Ahmad, but it was a terrible free kick, by the way. I'm a big fan of Ahmad, but I don't think there's anywhere to hide anymore. He got a lot of criticism last season, and I think when you've got the likes of Mbeumo and Cunha and Dorgu and maybe Rashford and Bruno, there's so many attacking players there that he's going to find himself on the bench if he doesn't start performing. So it's a big season for him, certainly. Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. Nearly 15,000. Please do subscribe, share the video. Atletico Madrid leading 1-0 here. Typical sort of pre-season fare. United trying to be oppressive, but ultimately chasing the game a little bit now because of some scrappy defending, and I think that's going to be a constant problem for United. That we have got a team that can press, but you can definitely get at that back four. It's definitely going to concede goals this season. You know, I don't need to name names, but it will. And the reason they'll concede goals is if you beat the press, you're up against a team that's not got a lot of pace at the back. Any news on Sesko? I think we expect him to be back for... I can't remember what the fixtures are for United actually now. Next week? Is it AC Milan next week? PSG next Saturday at 4 o'clock. I think he's back for that. And then it's Leeds midweek, and then it's Milan. So 3 more pre-season games to go. And 3 in a week coming up after this week. I'm sure if by miracle they sign a left-back and a centre-back, Carrick will still play Maguire and Shaw. Same as Ollie with McFred, says Desiree. And Zach says, can we admit that Mbeumo has been awful after the first few games of the season? He misses easy chances and offers very little up front. Well, I think I can agree with you on that, Zach, that Mbeumo up front is awful. But I don't remember spending £65 million on a striker. I thought we spent it on one of the best right wingers in the Premier League. Because if you go back to Mbeumo at Brentford, Arsenal, Newcastle were clubs looking at him. Literally probably the best right winger in the league for goals and assists. He was absolutely brilliant. So I'm somewhat confused about what we're doing with him. But under Carrick, Mbeumo has fell off. Literally since Carrick came in, he has fell off. Now, is that a coincidence or is it just he's not really been allowed to play where he needs to play? I think Mbeumo needs to play on the right wing. But you know, if we're going to have another season of using him out of position, I think Mbeumo will do okay up front if we can get the ball into him with space to run into. But there's so much to Mbeumo's game that we're missing. He used to get a lot of assists as well. I think Truffert would be a better signing than Hall, says Mitish. I mean, it's not a bad shout. I've not heard anything though. So 20 minutes gone. Can't remember a decent chance for United. Well, Luke Shaw had that volley, didn't he? Oh, sorry, yeah, Salah played on the wing that year, didn't he? But, you know, one of the best in the league on the right wing. I mean, it wasn't a statement that was meant to be taken literally. We're not talking about Mbeumo being the best right winger in the league that season. What we're talking about is we don't use him in the position we bought him for. That's what I'm saying. I think he's a very good right winger. I just want to see him play. Robert McCormack says it feels weird with no hydration break. We didn't have hydration breaks in the other ones, did we? Here's Dorgu. Needs to put the cross in. Oh, terrible cross. Might have been offside anyway. Yeah, miles off. Miles offside. Miles offside. Knobheads, mate. Absolute fucking knobheads. Sorry, I just saw a chat there where someone said, what do you think about these United fans calling everybody negative? I think they're knobheads. I think they've almost got locked into the whole, I'd rather be proved right than talk about what's best for Manchester United. They just turn anything that anybody says into a positive. And they can't be Glazerites. I just think they just want to be proved right. Yeah. Mason Mount's been class, apparently. Where are you? Yeah, he won't be commenting in here again. No, I'm only joking. Mason Mount's not been class, mate. Nobody's been class for Manchester United. We're losing 1-0. Piss off to MUTV. Have they got a live chat? Ben Jacobs has done a retweet. I'm on his profile. June the 2nd, Lewis Hall and Man United is one to watch. Well, look, Ben Jacobs is... If Lewis Hall signs for Manchester United, I want Ben Jacobs to get the credit because he's the one who's been saying it for weeks and weeks and weeks. Obviously, he's on the United stand every Thursday, so, you know, I do like Ben. But let's not fucking start reallocating who broke the story. Ben Jacobs is the one who's been speaking about Lewis Hall longer than anybody else. And also, I feel like Ben got called out by Newcastle in early June, Newcastle reporters, because he basically indicated that Lewis Hall would like to leave Newcastle. So I feel like Ben does have something from the player side. But I still don't think it'll happen. I still think United will get priced out. Can you imagine how insulting it would be if United fed the fans bullshit for months about a great window and then they did practically nothing? Oh, wait, says Z3 Music Official. There's still time. Still time. Can Carrick last the season, says EJ. Also, just see what happens with this attack. Also, like, I would love United to sign Lewis Hall. I don't believe we will. But why are we going to a left-back when we need another midfielder? Like, I am a little bit concerned that we might be parking the midfield option because we do need another midfielder. Another free kick for United here on the edge of the box. Mitesh says, if no Chumini, we would need two more midfielders. Which two midfielders would you prefer from Camavinga, Stiller, Scott and Garner? Garner is underrated. Yeah, Mitesh, I think you're making up your own rules here. We're not signing two midfielders. Ross says, when is the prediction video coming? I literally answered this last night, mate. It's 3 weeks till the start of the season. I'm not doing a prediction video 3 weeks before the start of the season. And Burmo said himself in interviews that he considers himself a goal scorer. I believe he is the guy pushing for it, not the team. Player power. I don't believe that, Dan. I don't believe that, no. Honest opinion, with only signing Santos and Tillemans, if we sign nobody else, what's your predictions for league table finish and progress? Well, Glenn, we will sign other players. Let's see what happens with this free kick. Another crap free kick. I don't know who took that because I can't see. Right footer. I'd say it was Mount. Yeah, it must have been Mount. We will sign other players, but if we didn't sign any other players, then I would put us probably around 5th. How much do you think we need to spend on the squad to be competitive, not challenging for the league? I've just sat for an hour and it's roughly 650, says Acid. Well, I remember when Amrim came in, I said, you know, Ten Hag had just been sacked. Amrim came in, and I said somewhere between 500 million and 1 billion to be competing for the league. Today, I'd be generous and say $500 million. You've got to spend it well, though. What's the latest on Kone, says David. Look, the latest on Kone is that he remains the one player that we've actually held talks with in the last 3 weeks. But we haven't started having talks with Roma. And Burmo losing the ball again and then fouling someone. If it wasn't pre-season, he'd have been booked for that. Oh. No income tax, no VAT. I just want to make it very clear I do pay my tax. I was just singing a song from a sitcom in the UK called Only Fools and Horses. I'm not condoning not paying tax, and I certainly am a taxpayer in this country. Anyone know how to watch pre-season games for free, says EJ. No. Considering the manager changes and the fact that Carrick has a year with these lads, how much of a difference do you think that will make? Well, look, it's pre-season, so lovely cross. Oh, it would have been a great goal. That would have been a great goal. Brilliant play by Lacey, I think. Was it Lacey or Mount? Lacey. Brilliant play by Lacey. It's nearly a great goal. I mean, he's an exciting player. He's not a midfielder as well. Another attacking talent. Such a good cross as well. And he's good with both feet. Reminds me of... a lot of people have said this to me. Reminds me of a younger Phil Foden when Foden was decent. But lovely play. Sesko will love that. Yeah, well, Mbeumo nearly scored. Would you say we can't sign good players because we don't have an established name as the manager? No. Shub. Tonali Fernandez would have signed for us if we'd paid the price. It's not about the manager. Yeah, so what I'm saying is I'm looking at United stylistically and I'm like... We're definitely the better team because I think we're the fitter team. And the goal, to be honest, did come from a set piece. And Atletico Madrid are definitely playing counter-attacking football. But I can see a massive difference in our level of fitness compared to theirs. G'day, Mark. Any study tips? Studying for an exam? I'm not really the best person, Droddy. But what I would say is don't cram. Don't keep putting it off. I think you've got to strategically do it. Afternoon, says Brad. How are we playing? We're doing okay, Brad. We are doing okay. I mean, we're losing 1-0, but we're doing okay. But look, I wouldn't go beyond okay. Like, there's been some okay performances. Mount's been okay. Santos has been okay again. Lacey's been good, considering he's a young player. But for me, it's not really about... I mean, look, if you get a player that has an absolute worldie, great. But I'm more looking at the strategic way that Carrick has got us set up. And... I think the defensive line's a little bit deep for me, still. We haven't really got fullbacks overlapping, which I think would be useful in this scenario. We are trying to press them high when they've got the ball. But when we've got the ball, I'd like to see our fullbacks pushing forward more. It's very easy just to, and Atletico Madrid have just done it there. It's very easy for them to just... get the shape, hit an early foul, and then reshape. What's your favourite ever Gary and Neville moment, says Henry? I mean, funnily enough, I don't have like an encyclopedic memory of Gary Neville moments. I liked it when he tried to chip Buffon. That would have gone down as one of the greatest goals ever. Lovely ball into Dorgu. Just got to put the cross in. What was he thinking? That cross has got to go in first time, mate. It would have been a tap in for Mbermo. Watch this. He's onside that time. One touch. Now cross it. No. Don't know why he took an extra touch there. Took too long. Thanks for the super chats, by the way. I think we've caught up. Oh, no. A couple more. I'll read them in a minute. Let's see what happens with the corner. Mason Mount's on it. Looks good to me. And it's headed wide by Heaven. Do you still play FC 26? We're inspired in football by you and hence giving away FC 26 copies on our channel on Wednesday and trying to post fun footy content. That's from Arena Nation World. I played it briefly again for the World Cup, but I'll admit it, I haven't really played a lot of it. Our defensive line will never be high with Maguire and Shaw. They want to get done. They won't want to get done for pace. Look, Jeff, I understand that Carrick's limited by the players that he's got available, but look at us there. When Atletico Madrid have got the ball, we're engaging them high up the pitch. But it would be so much better if we had a defensive line. Remember Liverpool under Klopp? They used to engage teams high up the pitch. But then they had a defensive line that was high up the pitch as well because they trusted themselves for pace. I think the way Carrick's trying to play here is to try and press high up the pitch, but it's way better if you've also got a defensive line that will play high as well. IRS says, do you think Sesko will flop or shine this season? Well, apparently Bayern Munich are interested in Sesko. Remember that player called De Ligt, Mark? What's going on with him? Glazers will say it's like a new signing. Well, the same thing's been going on with De Ligt that's been going on for the last year. He's had a bad back, one injury for a long time, you know. What 3 players frustrate you the most about Man United? Well, can everybody else answer that as well? I don't want it to just be me. So, what 3 players frustrate you the most at Man United? I'll read some out. I think saying that players frustrate me is a bit unfair because you're putting the blame onto the players when actually players should be moved on if they're not good enough. They can't move themselves on. It ultimately always comes back to the owners, doesn't it? But I think 3 players that frustrate me at Man United. Luke Shaw would be one, yeah. I just think he's way past his sell-by date in a position where you need a lot more. And he doesn't offer it anymore. And we shouldn't be going into another season with him at left back. I think he was a good left back. I don't think he is anymore. So I'd agree with you, Luke Shaw. Who else frustrates me? Delot. I like Delot. It's nothing personal, but again, how many years has he been at the club? He's become the new Lindelof, who, you know, stays at the club for ages, but maybe we should have never bought him in the first place. There's just no progression with Delot. And another season of Delot is frustrating. Third player that frustrates me. I don't know that it's a player. I'd say it's a position, midfield. We've always neglected that midfield. It frustrates me to see Mason Mount running around in midfield. 1, because he never should have been given the number 7 shirt. 2, because he's not even a midfielder. And 3, you know, he actually is doing quite a good job in pre-season. And I know the hipsters are going to go, oh, he's so good. And he's just not. He's just not. It's frustrating to see Mason Mount playing in the midfield. And the pre-season Perloites are going to go, oh, we don't need a midfielder. And we bloody well do. So, yeah, I'd say the fullbacks. I mean, look, they're the positions that frustrate me the most. Our fullbacks aren't good enough. And our midfield's not good enough. It's CJR says 3 players that frustrate me the most: Joel Glazer, Avram Glazer, and Sir Jim. They play us every day, so technically, I guess they are classed as players. Says it's CJR. Mitesh says I thought we were going to get best in class in every position. This is the same as how it was pre-Ineos. You know what the common denominator is? Joel Glazer, says Mitesh. Do you think I've done that one? Thank you very much. Thanks for the super chats. I think we've caught up there now. Do you think United will change the whole team at half time? I'd be surprised. I would be surprised. I think at this stage of the season, with the amount of games we've been doing pre-season and training sessions, I don't think you need to give 45 minutes to each. I don't think we need to change the team at half time. Oh, header over the bar. I think it was Yoro. Yeah, it was a good header. He's just a little bit high. I mean, well done, Yoro, there. Into Ahmad. This is where Ahmad... Oh, lovely play by Yoro. He's done really well here, Yoro. It's a shame with the cross. And it goes for a corner. Yoro did well there. Good tackle. Kept it in. Played the 1-2. I mean, look. Again, pre-season Perloites will be saying Yoro can play at right back. He ain't a bloody right back. He's not. He's never going to be a right back. He's too tall. But the confidence he'll get from playing at right back and getting some game time will hopefully stand him in good stead for a good season. There's no Ornstein story about about Man United, by the way. It's something to do with some Toulouse deal. Marlowe says, I really like what I'm seeing from Yoro. His future will be at centre-back, ultimately. Mark Bernard, thanks for your super chat. He says, do you think this has to be a big season for Ahmad? He needs to significantly increase his numbers, or we might want to think about moving him on. Yeah, I mean, look, to be honest, I have to admit that I'm wrong here, because Ahmad's stats last season were pretty shit, and I never really made a big deal about it. So, you know, you are right. You know, you do need to, if you're an attacker for Man United, you do need to, hold on, we could score here. Dorgu. Nah. Corner. Yeah, he does need to start delivering with the goals and the assists. Alfie says, my mate Joel thinks that Man City have got more fans than Liverpool. What are your thoughts? Mate, I don't think they've got more fans than Everton. Real talk. Dorgu decision making today, not great. Ooh, good play by Ahmad, but Atletico Madrid will bring it away. Ooh, good tackle there by Lacey. You can be tall at fullback. someone in the chat just said there, Dumfries is tall, Dan Burn is tall. But there's a difference between being 6 foot and 6'3". Yoro, I think, is 6'3". Yoro won't be a right back. He'd be a centre back. But there's no, look at Vardiel, left back for Man City. He's got to be about 6 foot something. Calafiori. So you can be that. I don't think what I'm saying is that I don't think the plan is to play Yoro at right back. I don't think he's going to be our right back. He won't pick Yoro over Delo. But him doing a good job at right back will stand him in good stead for playing more games at centre back. So I don't think he's going to be our right back solution. And I don't think I want him to be our right back solution, to be honest, because I want a right back like Hakimi. I want a right back that gets forward. Van der Ven sometimes plays left back for the Netherlands as well. Oh, good save by Heaton. They nearly scored there. And I think it's another corner. Let's have a look at this again. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's a situation where United have got a problem, but Santos gets turned. The cross comes in. Santos misses that one, and then Maguire's too slow. Harry looks a little bit off the pace today, doesn't he? A little bit slow over the first yard. And it is a corner. A couple of minutes to go to half time. Hanko. I want to do a little bit on Hanko. I'm pretty sure Hanko was a fullback that we looked at. Is his first name David? Yeah, David Hanko. I'm pretty sure we looked at him. No, he plays centre back or left back. He's 28. And he was in Italy, wasn't he? No, Feyenoord. He was at Feyenoord. That must have been when we were looking at him. Would have been Ten Hag era, wouldn't it? We definitely looked at Hanko. I definitely remember the name. Well, we're about to approach half time here. Get ready to give us your thoughts. Singing in the classes. I don't like that it's at right back, but I love that Yoro is playing well and it's pre-season, but it's looking like the player we signed, we still need a right back though. I completely agree, Cooper. I think that, I don't see Yoro as a future right back, but I do like the fact that he's playing well. And look, if I'm a young centre back and I want a big season and I'm sat on the bench watching Maguire in heaven play pre-season, I'm not playing. If I play left back, right back, centre midfield, all right, I'm not in the position I want to be in, and I'm probably not going to play in that position when the season starts and everyone comes back. But I've still shown the manager and myself that I'm a good player. Half time, let me stop the clock. It's half time. It's actually 1-0, isn't it, to Atletico Madrid? I feel like that is probably my assessment of it, actually. I feel like a draw is probably the fairer result halfway through. I think, it's... I tell you what I find weird, though. I see people in the chat saying, Santos on fire, Mason Mount amazing. We're losing the game of football. I haven't seen a midfield performance from United that's like tearing up the rule book and dominating Atletico Madrid. I mean, I literally said about 10 minutes ago, I think Lacey's been the best player on the pitch. And I think Mount and Santos have done well. But I don't know what you're talking about, a good first half. I mean, we must be watching a different game of football. We're losing 1-0. How is it a good first half or a on-fire performance from anybody? I don't think we've seen that. It's pre-season. I think Lacey's done well. I think Yoro's done well. I think Mount and Santos have done reasonably well. Beyond that, Mbermo should have scored. Ahmad could do more. Dorgu could definitely do more. Maguire looks a bit off it. Heaven's been okay. Luke Shaw looks a bit off it. obviously the keeper's the keeper. But we've not really, apart from the cross from Lacey, we haven't really created anything. And the cross from Luke Shaw, where you wouldn't probably expect Luke Shaw to score anyway. But I think that for me, it's not even about individuals. It's about style of play. And I can definitely see that we're trying to engage the opposition when they've got the ball. We're trying to engage them high up the pitch and force a turnover of possession or a mistake or a long ball. I can see that. I think our defensive line is a little bit deep considering Atletico Madrid are playing counter-attack. But that's probably because of a fear of pace with Maguire and Shaw. And when we get the ball, I think our best chances come, and it's the same as last season, I think our best chances come when we win the ball back high up the pitch and the opposition therefore are out of shape, because I think that when we've got the ball deep, again, we do look a little bit clueless, in the sense that we don't look like we can create chances when we've got the ball. And that's been a constant problem for United for a long, long time. We just can't. When we've got the ball and Atletico Madrid are in a good shape, we seem to struggle in the build-up. We're good if there's space, the counter-attack of space, but we're struggling a little bit when we have possession. Are you sad to see Wheatley leave, and at what price? Java, can I be completely honest? I wish Ethan Wheatley all the best, but he's never been a player that I thought was going to get anywhere near a United shirt, to be honest. So it's right to move him on, and I wish him all the best. I wouldn't say I'm sad. I've never really thought he was going to get anywhere near the team. So it's the right thing to do, isn't it, for everybody? Do you think Wilcox Barada look on Euro's pre-season and think, we don't need to sign left back. We've got Mazraoui, Shaw, Delo, Dorgu and Euro. They might do, Andy. They might do. Some people are saying that we're in for Lewis Hall, so hopefully that's not the case. But yeah, I don't know really. If United can save money, they'll save money, won't they? Unpopular opinion, for the squad rebuild, I'd keep Bruno, Lacey, Yoro, Dorgo, Sesko, Mazraoui, Le Mans and Heverin, and everyone else can go for me, says Acid2335. Alfie says, do you think we should sign Ollie Watkins? I think he would be the perfect signing because he'd be reasonably cheap and Premier League proven. I like the idea of Ollie Watkins. I think some people don't, but I do. Just looking at the goal there, I think Maguire just gets caught underneath it, doesn't it? Look at this. Cross comes in. Should be attacking that. I just don't think... I don't know what Yoro and Maguire are thinking here, because neither of them are anticipating that the Atletico Madrid player's not going to head it. You've really got to be attacking the flight of that ball. Somebody does. Matthew says, I hope we start to become a better possession side this season under Carrick. I know we're losing, but some great patterns and good signs. I don't agree, Matthew. Sorry, I was trying to find a way of not doing that. I don't agree. I'm not seeing great patterns of play. I'm not. I thought the Lacey chance was good that he set up for Mbermo, but I'm not seeing great patterns of play. If I am, I'll see it. I'll say it. But I'm not seeing great patterns of play at all. I think we've had 2 shots on target, and so have they. We've had more possession, I would expect that, and we've had more corners, but I haven't seen great patterns of play because I haven't seen loads of chances. I think that if you're happy being 1-0 down to Atletico Madrid with 2 shots on target, fine, absolutely fine. It's only pre-season. It doesn't really matter whether you think it's been great or shit. It really doesn't. But I think it's been okay by me, Man United, but I wouldn't walk away down the pub later on going, yeah, we're back. I'd be like, we've done okay, but I don't see great patterns of play. I don't see great football. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I wish I did. I don't. These Man United commentators are glazing the squad so bad. No pun intended. It's pathetic. Lacey is exciting though, says Bailey. Well, maybe that's what some of you have been listening to, in which case it's probably just dropped into... If you look, in defence of anybody who thinks we're playing like prime Barcelona, if you're listening to the game with MUTV, it will subconsciously, deliberately tell you everything's amazing. Of course it will. It's a PR channel. If you've got the volume on MUTV, you are going to be indoctrinated into this is the best thing you've ever seen. If you could drop one Man United legend from the 2000s into this current squad to fix the vibes, who are you picking? I think that's a good question, Gabba, because obviously I would normally say a Roy Keane or a David Beckham, but they were more late 90s at their very best in a Man United shirt. So would it not be right to say... Look, I look at personality as well as performance. Who would you drop in from the 2000s into this team? I mean, Roy Keane, early 2000s, would probably still be a very good shout, and we do need a midfielder. If it wasn't Keane, I think for me... I mean, somebody just said Rooney. I don't think Rooney's a bad idea, because the thing I absolutely loved about Rooney is that he'd start a fight with somebody in a room he's the only person in. The aggression, determination, fight. Prime Rooney, I think that would be something very, very, very different. The problem we had with Rooney is that from 2011 till he left, he wasn't the same player anymore. I think the captaincy cooled him down a little bit, and he wasn't the same player anymore. But I think the prime Rooney years would be what a player, or a Scholes, or a Keane. But that I'd be looking for a personality that is gonna fucking donate blood on the pitch for the shirt. You know, I wouldn't be going for a... Funnily enough, I wouldn't go for Ronaldo. I wouldn't drop Ronaldo into this team. I think Ronaldo needed the hard workers so that he could just do his thing. Michael Carrick's not a bad shout, but I wouldn't put Carrick up there with Rooney, Scholes or Keane. That's the problem. But he is a midfielder. Great question, Gabble. We love stuff like that. Cooper says, I don't like that it's at right back, but I love that Yoro is playing well and this pre-season, but it's looking like the player we signed will need a right back though, says Cooper. Thank you very much, Cooper. I think I've read that one already. Who would be your dream Man United legend interview? Ooh, well, who would you like me to interview? I mean, I think it's no secret that Roy Keane and David Beckham are my two favourite players of all time. Hopefully we'll be able to do one with Gary at some point. I don't see any reason why not. Rooney would be very good. I think he's tracking his career from Euro 2004 and that goal against Arsenal for Everton to being a Man United all-time top goal scorer. I think, and the fact that he's English as well. I think Rooney would be incredible. Obviously, people like Scholes, Cantona, Ronaldo. Look, I hugely respect Ronaldo. I love Ronaldo, but I'll be honest, Ronaldo Man United doesn't feel the same as Rooney Man United or Keane Man United or Beckham Man United. Maybe it's because he had his better years at Real Madrid. I know Ronaldo played for Man United, and I'll always love him for that, but I don't feel Ronaldo the same as I do Rooney or Keane or Scholes or Beckham, if that makes sense. It might not make sense to anybody. I love Ronaldo, but I just don't feel like... I mean, I'd never... If you rang up and said, so you don't want an interview, of course I would. But I just feel like there are other players that were more important to me as United players, you know. I'd drop Scholes and Vidic into that team, says Dale. We desperately need a midfielder. We do. Playing without Bruno gives us a better look at Carrick's tactics. I've seen shots on target from fullbacks and centre-backs, and aside from a few poor decisions by Dorgu, I see some positive stuff, says Nicky No Chairs. What about Ryan Giggs? Quinster, absolutely brilliant comment. I'm going to say this now because I can. I hate the way, even I haven't mentioned Ryan Giggs there, because I hate the way Ryan Giggs has almost been erased from footballing heritage. I hate it. Obviously, you know, we can all speak openly. We've spoken about Mason Greenwood, we've spoken about Rashford in the past and off the field incidents like Belfast, etc. So we can speak honestly. I know Ryan Giggs ended up with something going on, but he didn't get found guilty of it, and he's not been put in the Premier League Hall of Fame. And worse than that, he's now almost been swept under the carpet. He's the most decorated Premier League winner. Has he not got our appearance record as well? I apologise to that. Like, I never even thought about Ryan Giggs because it's been absolutely swept under the carpet that he ever bloody played the game, hasn't it? Which I think it's wrong. I do. Let me just grab my water. But great comment. Also, what an interview it would be. What an interview it would be with Ryan Giggs. I mean, started playing for the club at 17, played in every decent United side, the 94 team, well, before that, the team that first won the Premier League, the 94 double team, the treble team, the Ronaldo team, you know. He was even there when we won the last Premier. I mean, it's just the story of the Premier League, isn't it? Anyway, half time. Looks like United are going to be pretty much unchanged, but I think Atletico Madrid might make a lot of changes. So let's have a look here. Big Baby says, I'd have Rio so we can push up the pitch. Tom says, here's one for you, Goldie. If you could ask anyone associated with United any 3 questions, and you know they have to be honest, who, what are you asking? I think you've got to get Sir Jim Radcliffe. And I think you've got to say, you've got to ask questions like, is there a... Oh, Yulmland's coming on. Is there a genuine attempt to win the league here? Or is it just about being in the Champions League every year? I'd probe Sir Jim Radcliffe on, you know, the genuine questions that we need answers to. As a player, Giggs deserves so much credit and respect. Indeed, the person people will have different opinions on, which is completely fair enough, but the player is one of the best Premier League and United players ever, says Daniel. Quinster says he was my all-time best player on the pitch, but unfortunately off-field has tarnished him a lot. Also shares my birthday, says Quinster. Thank you very much. Binder looks like... No, it's not Binder, is it? Few changes for Atletico Madrid. We'll go through that in a moment for you. We're just about to start the second half. I think one of the Fletchers is on. I mean, you know what? I'm actually glad to see Fletcher on because I want to see what this is all about. And I think there's a lot of unfair criticism around Fletchers because of this ridiculous nepotism that people talk about. But for me, it's more about I just don't know what they're all about. So let's see. I tell you what, with United keeping mainly their players on, hopefully we can get a couple of goals. Let's say we manage to land a Kone or a Scott. Where would you rank our midfield against rivals? Then do the same for goalkeeper, defence and attack. I mean, Andy, I'm not going to spend 10 minutes analysing that. It's more for an 8 o'clock show, but if we did get Kone and our midfield was Kone, Tielemans, Santos and Mainu, it's not the worst midfield in the world. I I'd certainly think it would be good enough for us to get Champions League football again. We won't be winning the league with a midfield like that, though. I'd say that. Who's the best post for Sir Alex signing that's not Bruno, says Dan? I mean, you know what? You could say Luke Shaw. Not in the fact that I think he's a good player now, but Luke Shaw did give us at least 3 good years. He's been here too long, but he did give us 3 years. I mean, he's cost us a lot of money. Be interesting to see how Youngland does for Atletico. Let me just give you the substitutions at half-time here, because there has been a few. So we've made 1. Fletcher on for Ahmad. Ahmad only came back pre-season, so obviously that probably makes sense that Ahmad goes off at half-time. So Fletcher is on. I think Lacey will go to right wing. And Fletcher is number 38. Oh no, maybe Fletcher's on the wing actually. I think Fletcher's on the wing. Atletico changes. They've changed their goalkeeper. Oblak off for Escobar. Lenormand is off for Jimenez. Very, very senior player for Atletico. I mean, he used to play centre back with I never remember his name. Godin. In fact, they're both Uruguayan, aren't they? Yulmlin on for Koke and Mendoza on for Vargas. So 4 substitutions for Atletico at half-time. Rajaf says, check out my super chat. Nah, it was rubbish. I'll go back. You've got to interview Sir Alex given a choice. I don't know whether Sir Alex even does interviews anymore. I mean, obviously had that very serious illness. Let him enjoy his retirement, I think. Brad says, in your opinion, what do you see us doing this season with this window we're having? I just can't feel optimistic. Look, there's still 4 weeks left in the window. Let's be real. But if the window continues down the pathway it has, I think we're looking at Champions League football as the target. Lovely play by Atletico here. And referee says play on. Ji-Song Park with his work rate, says Vision. Ronan says Dorgu's not a left winger. Mount is a squad player. We're an average team at best. Without Bruno, we are crying out for a creative midfielder, says Ronan. And AJ says, I'm at the game with my son in Stockholm. Apparently Aidan Heavens just had a yellow card, hasn't he? Sorry, I'm at the game with my son in Stockholm. Great atmosphere, but United look shaky at the back. Hopefully the second half is better. Enjoy the game, AJ. Yeah, Aidan Heaven did get booked. Captain says Shaw just needs to go. Like Maguire and Delo, they're all outdated and stale. We need ceiling and floor raisers, and they raised nothing, says Captain. Jacobs just got back. What's the game been like? Look, United have done okay, but we're not really creating anything. Thoughts on Arsenal's monstrous offer for Vinny J? That will be signing of the summer. Meanwhile, our best transfer is a 35 million release clause. Rajaf. Well, if Arsenal get Vinicius Jr., it's one of the signings of the Premier League. Not this summer, every summer. So it would be an incredible signing. He's one of the world's best players. In fact, 3 years ago, he was my favourite player in the world outside a Man United player. So it would be an incredible signing for them. Santos did well to win the ball high up the pitch there. I like that. We're going to go backwards, though, because Luke Shaw's got it. Yeah. All the way to halfway line, which is a shame. Win the ball back high up the pitch and then go back to the halfway line. They're the sort of signings you want United to be making, though, Vinicius Jr., aren't they? But we're just Probably never been further away from doing it. Maguire's always been crap. Just 1 or 2 good blocks, and the header against Liverpool has made him a hero, and he got a new contract, says Desiree. Ryan says, every time I watch Dorgu, I don't think he's a top-level winger or a top-level left-back. Also, the player who has impressed me is Lacey, says Ryan. Look, I think I've seen a few people getting on the back of Dorgu. Remember, penalty! Lacey wins a penalty. And it did look like a penalty. Lovely feat. Another very good performance from Lacey. He created the best chance in the first half. And he's created the penalty here. Look at the feet here. Oh, yeah. And it definitely is a penalty as well. No doubt about it at all. He sent him back to Madrid. Very exciting player. Many empty seats again. It's actually sad to see. We spoke about that in the first half, Andy. I think it's because, you know, a lot of United players missing, very expensive tickets. World Cups just happened. Pre-season after a World Cup can be a little bit flat. So Mbeumo's going to take the penalty. Should have let Lacey take it, really. Look at all these prats with their phones. Should ban phones from football grounds. Mbeumo scores 1-1. Sends the keeper the wrong way. What's the latest on the third midfielder and Hall, says Jacka? I mean, there's a lot of noise around Hall, but when you read the noise, it's not about Newcastle wanting to sell. So I think it's a very difficult deal. The way football's changed, do you think Sir Alex wins, says Ash? Not with this team. Would love a Park Ji-sung type of player, says Marcus. What we got to keep Larson longer back in the day. Wish we got to keep Larson longer back in the day, says Lee. Thank you, Rajaf. Why can't Mazraoui start at right back or left back? As a Moroccan, I've seen him play both. It's a shame he hasn't been used properly, says Munir. Would you put Everett in that team? World class he was. Look, I was constantly looking for this fucking long ball over the top. I really want to see that change. There was good transitional passes there, and Mount just went straight away for the long ball. Lacey, wow, even bigger talent than Mainu. Fucking hell, Marlowe, you're very dangerous. Dangerous Marlowe saying that. I do like the look of Lacey, but it is pre-season. Remember Mainu, when he broke through, he was doing it in a United side in the Premier League. So that's the next step for Lacey. But Lacey's always been a player that people predicted would be a good player. He just had a few injury problems. I think he lost about 2 years of, you know, little bits of injuries, but always been a good player. Shot from them straight at Heaton. Unless we get Tchouameni, who are we not? Who are we not? I don't see how we can rate our window more than 7, says Kush, where we lost many of our top targets. What are the deals? This is something, says Fletcher hasn't touched the ball yet. PSG next Saturday. I mean, they'll have some good players playing PSG. Kvaratskhelia didn't even go to the World Cup, did he? Obviously, there'll be no Mbappe, Dembele, Doué, Barcola. Portuguese lads probably won't be there as well. So it'd be a very different PSG, yeah. Good free, good penalty by Mbermo. No real pressure. Pasted into the bottom corner. How old is Lacey? Good question. I feel like... Oh, hold on a minute. Yoro gets it away. Game's starting to open up a little bit here. I think he's 19, isn't he now? Yeah, 19. Only just turned 19. Yeah, like I say, he did lose a couple of years with injuries. But 19 now, ready to kick on. And I tell you what, if we're not going to spend money, a player like that could really be very, very... Mbappe doesn't play for PSG. Yeah, I just realised that. I don't know why I thought he did. Well, he used to. Trying to think. Dembele, Barcola, Doué, all part of the French squad. Kvaratskhelia won't be. Vitinha and Neves probably still off because Bruno's still off. So yeah, it'd probably be a bit of a shit PSG side, won't it, really? I'll tell you what, Atletico Madrid looking a little bit more of a attacking threat now that we've equalised, and we've become a little bit more of a defensive threat. But this, I think this is what United really want to do. Look at how deep we've gone since it's been 1-1. Atletico Madrid were not attacking at all. But now it's 1-1. We've gone back to let's counter. Vitinha has a release clause. Would he come here? No. Have a laugh. Just pasty. Who's your favourite ever United player to never live up to the hype? Says Jacko. Well, they're about to make a load more subs here, Atletico Madrid. Probably about 5. I would say that... Veron was a big one. Sea Dog says Lewis Hall, local lad. Oh mate, I'm so bored of these types of comments. Go and start your own channel. See if you can get 2 million subscribers. You sanctimonious shithouse. I'm not a Newcastle fan. And I've never heard Lewis Hall talk. Apparently, he's a Newcastle fan and his family all support Newcastle. Is that wrong? Is that right? Why do people keep talking about it? Why are Fletcher brothers getting so many minutes, says Alpha? Well, hopefully we will find out. The Fletcher that is playing is not ball secure, says Anil. I don't know the difference between the two. Which worries me a little bit because I think we need to see... This is Lacey. We need to see a lovely play by Lacey again. And he went for the shot. Yeah, we need to see what they're all about, really. And the last thing you want to do is just be the Fletcher brothers. We need to start to see what individual one does. The one that wears the number 39 is better, says Alpha. And I think the one that wears the number 39 is the one that's on. Oh no, T Fletcher. J Fletcher's on at the moment, number 38. So which one went to the World Cup? Wow. Atletico Madrid are about to make 6 substitutions here. Get JJ on, Carrick. Bona's coming on. Or is he coming off? Well, there's a chance for Man United to go and win it now. If we keep our experienced players on, they're obviously making a lot of subs here. So that could go into our favour. T Fletcher went to the World Cup, says Owen. That's the one on the bench, yeah. This is J Fletcher. Infamous Cam says, cheers, Mark. Cheers to the community. Do you think Carrick will change formation and who you starting in midfield for the first game? Well, the midfield, you know, I don't want to see Mason Mount, so I would probably say Mainu and Santos. I don't think you can play Tielemans and Santos. Sorry, you can play Tielemans and Santos. I don't think you can play Tielemans and Mainu. Jake says, do you think Fletcher's are hyped because of Darren? No. They are. They do have a very good reputation in and around the club. So I don't think it's because of Darren. But what we do need to see is who they are as players and who they are as individuals. Because Lacey and JJ aren't brothers, are they? They're two different players. So I think it's really important that we start to understand who these players are. Are you going to do any player ratings after? I'll do a match reaction afterwards. I think that's always useful. I don't think we've got any player ratings today, no. Thanks to everyone who's tuned in, by the way. Thank you for getting involved. Please do subscribe as always. Nearly 20,000 watching for a Saturday afternoon pre-season Man United game is very good. So thank you, everybody. Can't wait for the season to start now. Pre-season's good, but I've got to be honest, I'm not a huge fan of these type of pre-seasons anyway. I like it when we go to the States. I like it when we're playing at 3 o'clock in the morning. But I understand why we haven't gone to the States. I mean, look, I think Man City are out in Asia, aren't they? I don't know why United didn't do it this year. In a way, it might benefit us not to do all that travelling. Let me know your thoughts anyway. Thanks for all your super chats. You can do that through the $sign. We'll read those out as always. Rumours that Emery has sent Garnacho home early from training after fallout with other players. Villa wants Chelsea to take him back, apparently, says Marlowe. Don't know how true that is. But was surprised that Villa did that. But I don't know how true that rumour is. Do you think Carrick will make any subs? I mean, he might be chasing a result here. He might look at all the changes that Madrid have made and go, I'm going to stick with the stronger players and try and win the game. But personally, I would be very happy to see JJ on. You know, he is very young. He's still only 15. But factually, he can sign for whoever he wants next summer, and we can't stop him. So we've got to have a bit of a pathway into the team for him. Who's your top four, says Carib? Too early. Too early to say. I mean, Arsenal and Man City there, yeah, but the other two spots, tough to say at the moment. Yeah, we were talking about Dorgu before the penalty, and look, I saw some criticism of Dorgu at half time. I would steer clear of that. I mean, we've been through this with Dorgu before, where when he first came into the club, people really wrote him off. Good tackle by Heaven. People really wrote him off, and then he, rocketed, didn't he, before the injury? I don't want to see that again, where we're flip-flopping on opinions. I think Dorgu is an exciting player for Man United, and the profile of Dorgu is really exciting. Has he had a good game today? No. He hasn't had a good game today. His decision-making's been poor, and his overall performance hasn't been very good. But I don't think Maguire's played very well either. So I don't think Shaw's played very well. You can have a bad game in pre-season. Personally, Edwin in today's squad would be perfect, says Lee. And Luke says, not exactly the same, but Barcelona and Spain play their youth and still win. JJ will play 5 minutes in a cup and told to be patient and then leave on a free. Irish, that was from Luke. Irish Beckham says Carrick needs to give the youngsters a chance. Thank you, sir. I like Heaven. I like Aiden Heaven. I think he's a good player. Yeah. I think he needs to make subs anyway, because we're looking a bit flat. We've hardly created. Well, we've hardly created anything second half. So the team is looking a little bit, in need of fresh legs. G. Marla says, purely hypothetical, Man United have a poor start to the season, drop too many points, lose the Champions League match, and fans turn on Carrick. Nagelsmann steps in and takes over. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, look, if Carrick needs to get sacked, I would be happy to take someone like Nagelsmann, yeah. But I really hope we're not having that conversation. I really hope we're not. The destabilisation would be, I think for Carrick to go, you'd have to be failing again, wouldn't you? And I just don't want that. Free kick to Atletico Madrid. Mason Mount with the foul. He's faded a lot second half, Mason Mount. I think the pace of the game has, caught up with him a little bit. But still no subs. And a decent free kick position. See what happens with this. We have got an 8 o'clock show tonight. Yes, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Bottom right hand corner. Get involved with the United Stand. Live every morning at 10 o'clock. Every evening at 8 o'clock. And some very big news coming next week. Probably the biggest news we've ever had. Free kick straight into the wall. I really like Lacey. Hope to see him a lot next season. The way he moves reminds me of Phil Foden. Yeah, I agree. I do agree, Connie. After watching Germany in the World Cup with the players from his disposal and looking at getting knocked out early, you actually would take Nagelsmann, says Mason. Mate, they got knocked out in the World Cup on penalties against a team that parked the bus. And also, international football is not club football. I like Nagelsmann. I think he's a good coach. I don't need to reiterate my opinion. I would take Nagelsmann as Man United manager if Carrick left. Yes. You've just conveyed your opinion why you wouldn't. But you're not telling me anything I don't know. I like him. Look, McRae says Nagelsmann on fraud watch, shocking World Cup. Mate, how good was Harry Kane in the World Cup? Still one of the best strikers in the world. I don't really respect World Cup as a reason not to take a manager. Hansi Flick did pretty shit in the for Germany as well. Would you not take Hansi Flick at Man United? JJ's coming on. Would you be happy with a Le Mans, Heaven, Yoro, Santos, Manu defensive spine in 3 to 5 years with development and experience? Mate, if we're doing well and they're our defensive spine, I'm happy. Will Todd. Marla says, I do want Carrick to do well, but I'm worried he's set up to fail. Yeah, I've said that a few times myself. Right, we're in for an exciting last 20 minutes here because JJ Gabriel is about to come on. Interesting player, JJ Gabriel, right? I was covering this in the World Cup. Now, look, pardon my naivety. I always felt that he was like a player that we'd scouted from Europe, that we'd brought over, like Garnacho. Complete and utter ignorance. I thought that's you know, we'd bought him in from Portugal or something. He was actually he's actually born in Enfield in England, and his parents are his mother's Greek Cypriot, and I can't remember what his dad is. I think he's like Irish. Good save by Tom Heaton. So he actually is eligible to play for England. He's played for England under 15, 16, 17. So, and his full name is Junior Joseph Andrew O. something. I don't know where the Gabriel bit comes from, because his full name is Junior Joseph Andrew O. Carroll, or something like that. But yeah, I wrongly and naively thought we'd brought him in from like Portugal or something like that. So here we go. He's about to come on. We've got a few substitutions being made here. So we're in for a treat here. 20 minutes of JJ, hopefully. I think Carrick was talking to him. He's only 15 years old. He's only 15 years old. He'll be 16 in October. So Lacey's off and Xerxes on. Amas is on. No, he's not coming on. The fuck? I'm sure I saw him talking to him. He's not on. He's not coming on. No, he's not coming on. He's not coming on. He's not bloody coming on. I can't speak. Don't Xerxes score a fucking hat-trick now. I want to see things I haven't seen before. This should be a goal. This should be a goal. And it is. Mbermo. Well, we scored. Mbermo again. Fletcher jumped on the mistake. Well there, Fletcher. Give Fletcher some credit. He jumped on the mistake. Oh, people will be saying Mbermo can play up front now. I don't think Mbermo's a striker. I really don't. But he has got 2 goals. Yeah, Atletico Madrid trying to play out from the back. Fletcher with the press, which was what we've been doing all game. Did well there. Good play by Fletcher, 2-1. Give him some credit. Give him some credit. I don't know which one it is. No, but I will give any player credit who does stuff like that. I said it about Santos about 10 minutes ago. If you win, if you engage high up the pitch and you win the ball, that's the reward, and that's how you press. Very good pressing by Fletcher. Gets the ball, gets away from the defender, puts the cross in, 2-1. That's something that I've seen a lot from this United side in this game. It was Jack Fletcher. Jimbo has gifted a membership as well. Dorgu off, but no JJ. What is Carrick afraid of, says Marlowe. Jimbo's gifted 5 memberships. Thank you very much for that. So 15 minutes to go. United leading 2-1. Obviously, Atletico Madrid have basically put a different team out second half. But I think the players that United took off, by the way, because we did score very quickly after those substitutions. Maguire came off for Armour. Luke Shaw came off for Amas. Williams came on for Dorgu, Xerxes came on for Lacey, and obviously Fletcher had already come on for Ahmad. So he's not changed anything in the midfield, probably because he can't. So Santos and Mount looking like they're going to have to play 90 minutes. Because there really isn't anything you can do. Apologies, everybody, but I think everybody fell for it. I think we all thought for a moment that that JJ was going to come off. Come on. Maybe you'll get 5 minutes. Alan says JJ needs to be protected. Watching from the bench is all part of it. I know, but I think the thought process is with every passing week, more and more players come back and more players need minutes. So next week, we'll have Cunha, Bruno, Delo, Mazraoui all needing minutes. So when's JJ going to get on? Sam says he's 15, relax. Yeah, mate, you might want to understand the story. He's out of contract in the summer. PSG, Real Madrid all want him. If we don't give him game time and we want to run the risk of, you know, be patient, let's see if he signs a contract next year. I mean, I understand, you're absolutely correct. He's only 15. He is only 15, and, you know, it's ridiculous to think about giving a 15-year-old minutes. You're absolutely spot on. But what I'm saying is he can choose where he goes next summer. So I do think if we want to keep him, we have got to, you know, show him why Man United is the place to be. And 10 minutes, 20 minutes in a pre-season game at 15 might be part of that journey, you know. Marlowe says, Ten Hag refusing to play Ahmad, Amrin refusing to play Mainu, Carrick refusing to play JJ. There's a lesson to learn there. I wouldn't say Carrick's refusing to play him. I still think he'll come on here, but I think we've got to be wary of the danger. Marlowe, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you. I'd be very relaxed if he was like under a 3-year contract, but he can't be, because you can't do that with 15-year-olds. But United might look at it the other way. United might be like, we don't want to play him loads because then there'll be more competition for him. I don't think it necessarily works like that. Man of the match so far, says Carol. Lacey. Comfortably Lacey. Santos has done well again. Mason Mount's done okay, to be fair. Yoro's done okay. But yeah, Lacey. Yeah. We need to learn from our previous mistakes as well. Look at subject 49, Rashford, giving players too much too soon, says Mason. JJ only on the bench to bring more hype, so more views, says Gams. Sebastian says, now we're winning, the score doesn't matter for MG. Mate, can you just piss off back to social media wherever that nonsense all lives? When we were losing 1-0, I said it didn't matter. I don't know why I get tarnished with this bullshit, but go and live on X or TikTok or wherever you all thrive, because in reality, I don't think pre-season matters. And when we were losing 1-0, I wasn't moaning. So Lacey is such a baller, says Dylan. Jimbo, thanks for gifting a membership. JJ is warming up, says Noah. And Burmo has played well. I mean, he's got 2 goals. You've got to say he's had a good game, but I don't like him up front. And I think a penalty and a tap-in, you'd expect him to score both of those. Overall, I think he's done okay. But this could be it. Who's Mbermo coming off for? He is coming off for JJ, and there's another substitution as well. Thwaites and JJ on. Here we go. 10 minutes. At last. I wanted to see Thwaites as well. $63 Thwaites. And 77 Gabriel. Carl B says Arsenal done it with Dowman at 15. Jimbo's just gifted another membership as well. Orange boots for JJ. That's probably the easiest way. He's the only player who's in orange boots for United. No, he's not. Him and Thwaites are both wearing orange boots. Well, that makes it easy for us. Because when you're not watching a game in HD, sometimes it's hard to tell who is who. But Thwaites and Gabriel are in orange boots. Fun to be a bit trigger happy at times, says Marlowe. So only about 10 minutes here to get a look at these players. Hopefully they can get on the ball a little bit. Oh, he's hit the post. Youngland for Atletico Madrid. And a header just wide as well. He can't believe it. He's hit the post. They were queuing up here. I mean, I don't know where the midfield is, but they were queuing up there. To be fair, the young United defender there has done his job. And he hit the post twice. Hit the post twice. JJ Times says Nick P, the greatest Greek Cypriot export since me and Dappy from N-Dubs. Mason Mount got absolutely done for legs there. It was from a standstill, and Yoro covered him off. Oh, Xerxes, you just should have just laid that off to bloody JJ. Good play by Thwaites. Did Santos go off? No, yeah, he went off for Thwaites, yeah. Good ball by Thwaites again. I'll tell you what, he's only had a couple of touches, but there'll be confidence touches, those. Amas. We definitely need another midfield, Shanique. Yeah. Here's Amas. Give it to JJ. Got that low centre of gravity as well, hasn't he? He's going to be an interesting player, JJ, as well, because at 15 you can see he's going to grow physically as well, obviously, but you can see it. How close is Sesko to being match ready, says Tony? I think he's apparently going to be back for next week against PSG. Mount's just tried to score a goal from his own half. Tries the word. Poll suggestion, favourite manager post Sir Alex, says Marlow. I don't think we need to do a poll, Marlow. Put it in the chat, because I think we'll just see one name. Not a bad start for the 48 million Chelsea rejects, as Hand of Doug. Mate, it's pre-season. If you want to get excited about pre-season, you crack on. Jose, yeah, 100%. Head and shoulders above anything else. I'll tell you what, though, the interesting thing about pre-season and the modern game with football is that you do, you know, we are aware a lot more about football now in relation to we're completely and utterly spoilt in what we can watch. I don't know what year it was that I actually started watching pre-season games, but I remember United going on tour to South Africa around 99. And I don't remember in the late 90s watching Man United pre-season games. Let's put it that way. I don't know what point it became something you did do, but you never even used to watch pre-season games. I don't even think you used to take any notice of who played or what the results were as well. It's quite a recent phenomenon. I mean, it's great. I like to watch it, but you didn't even used to watch it. And you're probably right. It probably was MUTV that started it, Supreme. Jimbo, thanks for gifting the membership. Thank you, sir. Do you think we need a midfielder with Mount? Don't. I know you're trying to rage bait me and it won't work. If you think Mason Mount is a reason to not buy another midfielder, then you deserve everything you get. Here is JJ. Ooh, could it be the moment? I think he's overrun it. He's overrun it. Yeah, he overran that a little bit. Mason Mount's already better than Scholes, says Lol. Mason Mount, man of the match. He's done all right. I still think Lacey's man of the match. Go on. Go on. Oh. JJ again. Hope the Amas stuff was bullshit. Develop, don't sell, says Andron. I'd like to see him go on loan rather than sell him, but United might look at the money. MUTV is really pushing the Mount thing. That's maybe why people asking about it. They're shameless. Yeah, it's the only bad thing about pre-season is listening to their propaganda bullshit. I mean, put it this way. Why, as a commentator, would you say Mason Mount's amazing in midfield, knowing that if Mason Mount's amazing in the midfield, United probably won't sign a midfielder? Like, what? You're not even a bloody United fan if you're saying we don't need to buy a midfielder. You're a sabotager. You're a saboteur. Yeah, Mason Mount looking like the pre-season Pirlo. Yes, if you know, you know. Got the bloody captain's armband on as well. My rival friends are giving Man United crap for thinking we can compete in the Champions League and Premier League with our squads as EG. Three minutes added on, 2 minutes to go. I don't think, I'm trying to think actually, just talking about Mason Mount. I was reading out before the game how he's, every season he's been at United, he's played less than 50% of the game. He's been injured for more than 50% of the games, which is horrific, of course. But I don't think he normally gets injured in pre-season. I might be wrong, but I think pre-season he's normally fit. Correct me if I'm wrong. I am going to do a match reaction, yes. I'll get that recorded straight away after. And there is an 8 o'clock show tonight, yes. And as always, thank you everybody for tuning in and being my company. Oh, good shot there, just over the bar. No player. Get your words out. No player rating show today. Just a match reaction. How do you sell United the dream to JJ? Do you want a mediocre career with no trophies but next level pre-season photo shoots of you working out, says Nick P. Well, I suppose that might be the problem, isn't it? Great to see him on the pitch, but you know, whether United do well or not, there is this opportunity for him to go for free anywhere, because it's you sign your first professional contract when you're 16. But anyway, full time, United win 2-1 against Atletico Madrid in Stockholm. Look, the second half was a bit, lots of substitutions, wasn't it? It was nice to see Thwaites. I thought he did well actually when he came on. Obviously exciting to see JJ. Lacey was my man of the match. I'll give you a match reaction in a moment. But and we are live at 8 o'clock. So thank you everybody for tuning in. It's over now. I'm looking very much forward to 3 weeks today when the season actually starts. Yeah, look, there are some positives. I want to talk about them in the match reaction, so I'll go and get that recorded and we'll throw it up. Take care, everyone. Back live at 8 o'clock. Match reactions coming up in about 10 minutes. Speak to you all in a bit. Take care.